this video, really quickly, I want to talk about tense in ancient Greek. So we'll go through the present tense and some others, but we'll start with the present tense. So the present tense is going to be the most obvious here. Oops, sorry. Let's actually just delete that. So it's going to be the most obvious. The present tense is now, essentially. So people tend to understand pretty well what we mean when we say the present tense. So things happening in the present. It has some other uses. For example, it can be used for the near future in some circumstances, but really is generally going to be used for mostly for things that are happening now or generally habitually happen now. The next one we want to use is aorist. This sort of sounds like a scary name. It's not really very scary. But the aorist is a past tense, usually. It denotes past time. So I'll put that here. Usually denotes past time, and it's a single action. So if we've got a timeline here, this, we can have a present tense verb like a habitual action, happens a lot of times in the present, right? Or it's currently happening in the present. With the aorist, we have something that happened once in the past. So that would be the aorist. Next up, I want to talk about the imperfect. So the imperfect is generally used for things that happened lots of times in the past or over and over repeatedly in the past. So we might have like this. It happened several times. It can also be used for things that started past abruptly and then continued maybe even until the present. Or for things that happen sort of continuously over a period of time in the past. Our next one we want to talk about is the future. It is a lot like the present tense in a lot of ways in Greek, but importantly, it's like the present tense in that it can either be over something that happens over a period of time in the future, habitually in the future, or even just once in the future. So in the present tense, we can have all of these things just once in the present, or a period of time in the present, or over and over habitually in the present. Future, we can have really exactly the same thing in Greek. The next important one we want to talk about is, let's go over here to the perfect. So perfect means completed, so we'll use it in that sense of the word. Actually, I'm going to start using a different, I'll just use this color. So the perfect is going to be something that was happening and then it met some sort of an end. And with the generic perfect, so what we have here, is there actually there's more than one perfect like tense. The generic perfect, it stopped happening in the present. So we actually say it's a present tense or a present time verb, but it was going, and then it stopped sometime in the present happening. We also have our pluperfect. Pluperfect is similar, and pluperfect in Latin means more than perfect. So it's really more like it stopped at some point in time in the past, though. So it's just like the perfect, something was happening, and then for some reason this is stuck. Okay, and then it ended in the past. So it's like the perfect, but it's sort of shifted And then we also have a future perfect. Future perfect is much less common in ancient Greek, but as you can guess, it's a lot like the perfect in that something that was happening, but it ends sometime in the future. So we'll go over examples for all of these in our next video. But this should be just a good start for understanding these tenses.